Ryan Ellis had managed apartment buildings for almost 15 years. In that time, he dealt with burst pipes, electrical fires, hoarding complaints, and tenants who somehow managed to lock themselves out 3 times in the same week. Strange situations didn't surprise him anymore, until apartment 304. The building was called Ashcroft Towers, a 6-story apartment complex in Portland that had been standing since the late 1970s. Most residents came and went every few years, but a few had lived there long enough to remember the stories. Apartment 304 was one of them. The unit had been empty for 12 years, officially. The last tenant, Michael Donnelly, was a 36-year-old freelance photographer who had vanished without warning. His wallet, phone, and car were all found inside the apartment, but Michael was never seen again. After months of investigation, the case went cold. His family eventually stopped renewing missing person posters, and apartment 304 was locked indefinitely while legal disputes over the estate dragged on. Ryan knew the story, but it had never bothered him until the maintenance requests started. The first one arrived on a rainy Tuesday morning. It was a standard maintenance form slipped through the office mail slot sometime overnight. Apartment 304. Issue: bathroom faucet won't stop dripping. Ryan frowned. Someone was obviously playing a prank. He crumpled the paper and threw it away. The next month, another request appeared. Apartment 304. Issue: bedroom window won't close completely. Same handwriting. Same old-fashioned paper form the building had stopped using nearly 10 years earlier. Ryan checked the security cameras covering the office entrance. Between midnight and 6 in the morning, nobody approached the mail slot. The request had appeared anyway. Over the next 6 months, the pattern continued. Exactly once a month. Always on the first Monday. Always written by hand. Always describing small maintenance problems. A loose cabinet hinge. A flickering kitchen light. A clogged sink. Nothing dramatic. Just ordinary repairs someone would report if they actually lived there. Ryan finally decided to inspect apartment 304 himself. The lock still carried the official evidence seal from the original police investigation, although it had long since expired. He unlocked the door and stepped inside. Dust covered everything. The apartment looked frozen in time. Furniture remained exactly where investigators had photographed it years earlier. Books still rested on shelves. Family photos stood on a side table. A coffee mug sat beside an old newspaper dated 12 years earlier. Nobody had lived there since Michael disappeared. Ryan walked through every room. The bathroom faucet wasn't dripping. The bedroom window closed perfectly. Every issue listed on the maintenance request simply didn't exist. He locked the apartment and left more confused than before. The following month, another request arrived. This time, Ryan didn't throw it away. Instead, he placed a tiny pencil mark beneath the corner of the paper before storing it in a locked filing cabinet. 30 days later, another request appeared. Different complaint, different sheet. Same pencil mark. The paper wasn't being replaced. It was somehow becoming a new document. That impossible detail bothered Ryan more than anything else. He contacted the company that owned Ashcroft Towers, expecting them to dismiss the situation. Instead, the regional manager became unusually quiet. Then he asked a strange question. "Have the requests changed yet?" Ryan frowned. "What do you mean?" "They always start with maintenance." "Always." The manager sighed. "I was hoping the cycle had ended." The next morning, he drove 4 hours to Ashcroft himself. From an old storage box, he pulled maintenance files dating back nearly 20 years. Ryan flipped through them in disbelief. The same thing had happened before. In 2006, again in 2012, and now again. Every cycle lasted roughly 1 year. Every cycle ended the same way. The requests slowly became more personal. Ryan laughed nervously. "You're serious?" "I wish I wasn't." The regional manager handed him the final maintenance request from the last cycle. It wasn't about plumbing, or electricity, or broken windows. It read, Apartment 304. Issue, front door won't stay locked. Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. What happened? The manager looked toward the elevators before answering. The next morning, Michael Donnelly disappeared. Neither man spoke for several seconds. Ryan wanted to believe it was an elaborate coincidence. Then October arrived. Another request appeared. This one read, Apartment 304. Issue. Someone keeps walking in the hallway after midnight. Ryan checked every security camera covering the third floor. Night after night. Nothing. No movement, no residents, no maintenance workers. Then he noticed something strange. Every morning at exactly 4:12 a.m., the camera outside apartment 304 froze for 8 seconds. When the recording resumed, nothing appeared different. Until Ryan compared dozens of nights side by side. The welcome mat outside 304 had shifted slightly each time. Not much. Just enough to suggest the door had opened. But the camera never captured it. Determined to end the mystery, Ryan spent the night inside the building's security office. At 4:11 a.m., every monitor functioned normally. At exactly 4:12, the third floor camera filled with static. 8 seconds. Then the image returned. Ryan ran upstairs immediately. Apartment 304 was still locked. The hallway was empty. He turned to leave. Then noticed a folded maintenance request lying on the floor directly outside the apartment. Fresh ink. Still wet. His hands shook as he opened it. Apartment 304. Issue. Mailbox hasn't been checked in 12 years. Ryan slowly looked toward the row of mailboxes in the lobby. The one labeled 304 was still completely full. Letters, bills, birthday cards, Christmas cards, all addressed to Michael Donnelly. None had ever been opened. The police later reopened Michael's missing person case after Ryan submitted every maintenance request as evidence. Handwriting experts confirmed the notes matched samples from Michael's old lease agreement. The ink, however, was impossible to explain. Laboratory testing concluded every request had been written less than 24 hours before it was found, not 12 years earlier. The case remains officially unsolved. Apartment 304 was eventually renovated and rented to a new tenant. The monthly requests stopped for almost 3 years. Then one Monday morning, Ryan received an envelope with no return address at his new job across town. Inside was a single handwritten maintenance form. There was no apartment number, just one line. Issue. I think you delivered my mail to the wrong building.